I'm Gavin and this is episode 52.
This week we're going to look at the next section of the Manchester project.
Today I'm working on the second half of the picking line conveyor subframe.
If this looks like a funny camera angle, there's a story behind that.
We had a guy in the workshop go.
June the 15th, 2005 was the very first day this company traded.
Nice curved texture to fit the inside of the drum.
Fun fact, this week I have a confession.
For those of you that don't know, this is the Trident Watermaster.
This is the London Scrapyard Walkway, complete.
So welcome back to Spitfire Engineering. I'm Gavin and this is episode 52. This week we continue with the Manchester project and Rob is putting together the picking line for that. We continue with the wash trommel and we show you how we put together one of our trommel drums.
Okay, so this week we're going to look at the next section of the Manchester project. Last week we looked at the swan neck conveyor, and this week we're going to look at an ECS frame, some conveyors and a vibrating feeder. Let's have a look. So this is where we picked up from last week. This is the swan neck conveyor that we looked at. Now feeding that is this one here, which is conveyor 3, and then next to it is conveyor 4. Conveyor 4 feeds into a bunker that goes outside of the building, and they are both fed by this ECS here. Now this is being bought by the customer and it's already going to be on site when we get there. So all we will be making for this is the framework here. What's going to happen, the boys will go onto site, they will line this up with everything, find the happy medium and anchor it down when they're on site. So there'll be no pre-drilled holes for the ECS until they're there. They will make that suit the situation. This here is a relatively accurate model. I got the information from the supplier themselves. So I mocked it up, did a rough boss base draft of everything. So I've got all the key dimensions to do the job and then built off of there. So what we have feeding that is conveyor number 2, which we'll go to in later detail. Okay, this is conveyor 2. We'll talk about this in a couple of weeks, but it's feeding this vibrating feeder here. This vibrating feeder is exactly the same as the one we had earlier in the project that feeds the Trommel machine. Now, the only difference here is this one's slightly narrower, but it's taking the same, it's not the same, but roughly the same amount of material going through it. The only difference is some of it's screened out by the ECS. So we kept it on the same basis, and when Ollie V Brass, who we buy the motors and rust units from, they work out that based on the weight of material going through it and the weight of the actual screen itself. So the only real difference was the weight in the screen, and believe it or not, losing a little bit in the width didn't change an awful lot. So we kept the same bits of equipment, so the boys who built this previously will build it again, and then we should accumulate some time on the job there. So that's everything in question in this section of the job. There's more to it which we'll go through later in the process, but for now the boys have had material ordered for all of this. So what we'll do now is in the next couple of days I'll start a meeting about the project. We'll just go through some of the changes that have been made to this section before we start the job so the boys know about it, and we'll just get on from there. So the next couple of weeks you'll see this section of the job being built as well. Right, so we've had our startup meeting now. The boys are all clear on the project. We've got the full pack here. There's loads on the table spread out in front of you that we can lovely show you. The boys know what they're doing. Materials come in next week. So like I said earlier, the project will start being developed now as we go forward in the upcoming videos. So over to Rob.
Today I'm working on the second half of the picking line conveyor subframe. It's mostly set up for welding now. I've welded the angles right on the far end. They're fully welded. I had the conveyor side in to get them to fit properly. Marked all the holes, centre dotted, ready to be mag drilled when the frame's together. So I've just got to swap these two over so they're the right way around. Put the end piece on, put all the gussets in, weld it up, drill some holes, and then that's it for this. So this is the second part of the picking line conveyor frame finished, fully welded, cleaned up, holes are drilled, ready for the conveyor size to be bolted to it. So my next job is trying to countersink some holes, which might prove to be a little bit impossible, but we'll see. Yeah, that's my update. So next to me, I've got the conveyor size set up, so I can put the tops on, and then inside of here I've got some spacers to space it out to where it needs to be. I'm going to cut some cross beams just out of some small box section. So basically, if we ever need to fix this on site, if the belt wears through the plate, we need to replace the plate, which is a very slim chance of it happening, but if it does, we're going to have some cross beams on the inside of this that basically just stop it from flexing when you take the top plate off. So that's my next job. I'm just getting this set up now so it's square. I'm going to put the panels on and then work from underneath. So on this now, the picking of one part of the picking line conveyor, the tops are bolted on, just a couple of bolts in each just to position them, get the actual thing square, and I've cut these braces. I'm currently just tacking them in, getting them in wherever they need to be. So we'll have 3 of these in this section and 2 in the other because it's smaller. Get these in position, tack them in, and then when I'm happy with it, I'll weld them together. And then this will be one complete section. Basically, the panels on the top are getting welded together as well, I believe, so that will just come off as one big tray. Yeah, that's it for this, for now. So this is now one of the completed sections of the picking line conveyor for the Manchester project. I believe it's just needs to clean down and go to paint now. I don't think anything else needs doing to this section. I need to bring in the other one and do the same with that. Put the tops on, weld the cross braces in. Yeah, I've just got the fun job of getting outside now, and it's raining, so that's nice. Right, so currently underneath me is the second part of the picking line conveyor, finished and fabricated. I stuck it outside just so it's out of the way. I'm sure we're going to paint soon, get cleaned down and painted obviously.
So these are the picking line bins. These are yet to be painted. They've just been brought in the back here, ready for cleaning down, ready for next time. But over here we have some of the remaining framework for the picking line framework, and then the picking line subframe. So this is the subframe for the conveyor, and then some of the legs for said walkway and conveyor. So yeah, Stuart's had a good crack at painting these. They'll be coming out tomorrow morning once they're fully dried, and then we get some more bits in here.
This is the London scrapyard walkway job. I've pretty much just started it with making this section here. Everything is prepped and ready to go. As I say, really just the bare bones at the minute. Yeah, get cracking on this and you'll see more later on. Sweet, so these are the handrails for the London job. They're both done, both fully welded now. It's pretty simple, just, you know, up, across the walkway and back down. Yeah, onto the platform on the floor now to get these on side. So this is the floor for the London job. As you can see, it's upside down at the minute. Slight interesting part is that the floor isn't level, so these are actually 20 mil lower than that side. The floor is only tacked on at the minute. Checker plates have got nice grip when people walk on it. All that's left to do now is to get the kick plates on the side, finish welding it and get the stair treads either side, and then drill some holes for the handrails and then get it into paint. Sweet, this is the London scrapyard walkway complete. As you can see, these are only temporary bolted on because they're going to come off to paint. So there's no point putting lock nuts and washers on if they're just going to come back off. And they're going to come back off to be installed on site. Yeah, it's fully welded. As you can see, steps are lovely and steppable and square because that's what I do best. Yeah, get this in paint and get us off to site.
If this looks like a funny camera angle, there's a story behind that. Now, we've got two of the DJI Pocket cameras. We keep seeing your head in this, Adam. And Adam's broken both of them. And we normally, in the car, use them to do the filming because we've got a little suction cup that goes on the screen inside the car. And it works. But Adam has broken both of them. So they've now gone off to be repaired, probably at great expense. So we're having to make it up using his phone at the minute. So we're just off over to the site bank this morning because I don't know if you saw in last week's, couple of weeks ago's episode, there was some footage there where the girls went to site, did some filming that, but we hadn't got some of the camera shots that we wanted because this weekend the plan is, and by the time you see this you might have already seen them on social media, we're doing some paid ads for the site bank. And we also wanted to do a walk around video for anybody who is interested in the site bank, that we can send a promotional video to them, just showing the features, that sort of thing. So me and Adam are just on our way over to site this morning just to get them final shots. Now this is a product that probably doesn't lend itself to social media, but we're going to give it a go anyway and just see what sort of feedback we get, because we're now in a position where the lads in the yard are just finishing off some of the units for the 5. We got one done for this customer, but there's the other 4 still to finish. So they're just finishing them off in the yard, and we're going to keep them as hire units. So if anybody wants to buy a unit, we're going to be making some more. And the reason we're doing that is because when you build anything, you always want to tweak and change it, and there is some tweaks and changes we want to make. And I don't want people to have the current model. They're perfectly good enough for hire and they do the job and everything, but we just want to refine it and make it better for the ones that we sell, so the people that buy these units actually have the best version we can. So there'll be a a sort of an assessment meeting tomorrow about the site bank, and what we'll do is we'll go round and we'll discuss all the things that we want to change.
Company update for this week is that there is a lot going on. New people have started, as you know. We had a guy in the workshop go, which is never a great situation. It just wasn't for him. He didn't like the hours, which is a pain because he knew the hours when he started. We work long hours, but we only do 4 days, so that is what it is. But because we have been able to recruit and interview quite a lot of people over the last few months, we had somebody waiting in the wings. So we had another guy start, confirmed his appointment the same day, and he started 2 or 3 days later. So yeah, we move. Hiring people in our business is not an exact science, and we learn all the time about it. So one goes, one comes, and it's not ideal, as I say, but it is the way we have to work and we move. Lots going on though, we're busy. We're now looking at another event to attend as a business, which is going to be really interesting. I won't say too much about that yet, because I'm still looking at the space at the event. As soon as we do announce it though, believe me, it will be big and bold and you won't be able to miss us at the show. So yeah, that's really exciting. That's something that I'm working on at the moment from the sales and marketing side. Yeah, loads of other stuff going on. We've got some interesting things going out on social media in the next couple of weeks that Adam has been working on. So there's quite a few things happening. So company-wise, it is hectic. It's always hectic. It's never going to be any different. We're a busy company. We're a growing company. And sometimes you have teething troubles where people don't last more than a few weeks. It is what it is, unfortunately. But yep, we move.
You may have also noticed, by the time this comes out, you may have also noticed that we're also doing some adverts on Facebook and Instagram for our mini screens. It's that time of year that people are buying mini screens. We've never done it before. We've never done paid ads. The only place we've ever advertised our mini screens really is eBay and also on the website. So this is a new thing for us. So if you've seen that in your feed in the last few weeks, can you leave a comment below just to let us know whether you've seen it? Because I don't know quite what sort of reach we're going to get. So if you could leave a comment below and sort of say whereabouts you are in the world, and then we can sort of gauge to see how far this is actually sort of reaching people. So if you could do that, that'd be good.
So Andrew's been mentioning in the previous weeks that come June this year, so by the time you're watching this, it will be June. June the 15th, 2005 was the very first day that this company traded. So it's 20 years in business. Now, to sort of celebrate or mark the occasion, I've decided that we're going to do a story, the Spitfire story, right back from the beginning. A few people have asked and messaged to sort of say, you know, why is it called Spitfire, and you know, how long have you been going, and you know, how did you start out in business and all that sort of stuff. So I thought, as the 20th anniversary, it would be a good idea to do a special standalone video, and I'm going to be pulling the gloves off. I'm going to tell you exactly what it was like in the early days, all the good bits in business, all the bad bits in business, the times when we nearly went bankrupt, the times when we were owed a lot of money and the customer nearly went bankrupt on us. I'm going to tell you about how we stopped a 50-ton digger being repossessed, and we're going to talk to you about employment tribunals. We're going to touch on that as well. So it is a full gloves off. I don't know how long it's going to be. We haven't actually filmed it yet as we're recording this. Me and Adam have been talking about it, about what it's going to look like, but it's probably something that we're going to have out for maybe the end of June is what we're looking for. But it is going to be a proper warts and all type story. I'm going to tell you all about it, how I remember it. And I thought some of you might find it interesting. There's a part of me that wants to do it for sort of prosperity for my grandkids, so that they know sort of where the company was started and where it will come from. But I think some of you might find the story quite interesting. It's not always been plain sailing.
So these are the drum rings that Steve has fabricated. He was fabricating them last week. I wasn't here. I'm now here though. Rob and Connor have now finished their respective tasks. Connor was doing the London scrapyard walkway, and then Rob was just doing the picking line conveyor. So this is a completely different job to both of them. This is the wash trommel. Yeah, they're going to be assembling the drum together, at least tacking it up together, so that then when one person needs to do it, it's fine. Otherwise, it will spend way too long with one person doing it on their own, struggling. We'll get the bulk of it done. Many hands make light work, and them sort of sayings. Yeah, I think that's about it, to be honest.
Drum. This is the wash tunnel, all tacked together now. You got either side your drum rings, they're fully welded, because they were made beforehand. and then me and Rob have just gotten all of the beams in. Quite interesting, these ones, because they normally sit on the inside, but because it's have an auger in, they sit on the outside. So we have to slot in of either side of your drum. And yeah, that's all tacked together now. We'll get the punch plates rolled up for you, and then yeah, get that welding. Still on the drum. I have just been doing more on the middle beams. These here. These are practically spacers, but also to help bolt down the punch plates, which I will show you in a second. As you can see, all the holes here, I will have to run through these with a plasma and just burn them out so I can get a bolt through. As I said, yeah, they also work as spacers for the middle rings, so they're all nice and square. And I'll show you the punch plates now, if you come with me. Punch plates. These are your punch plates. I've just rolled them all. You see, nice curved texture to fit the inside of the drum. These ones are quite cool because you can see they've got the different profiles either side, so they kind of slot into each other like so, just for a nice sealed finish. Yeah, we'll get these in a minute after I burn out the holes, and then yeah, start cracking.
So Connor is behind me. He was just cleaning some holes for the bolts to go through for the connecting and punch plates to the channel. He's about to blow some more out. So we've got the spacers in between, so that goes between the punch plate and the channel itself, and they are perfect for just using them as a sort of stencil, plasming around them. You can get a very neat hole, doesn't need to be mag-drilled or anything. So Connor is just blasting the last row of holes now. He'll clean them up. And then hopefully by the end of the day today, you get at least one row. He's told me he can get one, so we'll see if he can. One row of the punch plate in there. That'd be great if we can. So yeah, it's starting to really take shape now. There's not a lot of fabrication left in this project. Still got quite a bit of tin work and guarding, but we're getting there. We are certainly getting there.
So, fun fact this week, I have a confession. Did anybody spot last week's fun fact was totally made up? Me and Adam had a little bit of a joke going between us, and I said that I would make up a fun fact about the Spitfire Express moving Spitfires out of Southampton and Portsmouth, wherever it was. But it was a total joke. So if you found that in the comments and you commented on that it was we were talking complete cobblers, well done to you. But if anybody else thought it was serious, it was a bit of a wind-up, to be honest. So this week, this is a genuine one, and Adam has found this. Does anybody know the shortest plane journey for passengers in the world? Well, let me tell you, this is in the Scottish Islands near Orkney, from Westray and Papa Westray in Scotland. Flight time around 1 minute and 30 seconds. Surely they could swim that between the islands quicker. Is this right? Surely a boat would be cheaper than an aeroplane to do such a short distance. Anyway, it's 1.7 miles, typically flown in a Britain-Norman Islander, a small twin-prop plane. I think a tank of fuel lasts a month. Designed to link remote island communities. It's vital for locals, postal service and medical supplies. So it doesn't just move passengers, it does actually move letters and medical supplies. Fun fact, it holds the Guinness World Record for the shortest scheduled flight, and it's often shorter than the time it takes to board. Now that's a true fact, not a wind-up. We didn't make this up. True fact.
So this is one of our standard E21Cs that a customer has purchased, so they haven't had it too long. They've, as you can see, got a fair bit of use out of it already. They decided that they'd quite like a infeed putting on it. So this is a modular system. So this is one that we already had in stock. This has been bolted onto the existing framework of our E21C. The only adaptation we've had to make are the greedy boards. So we've fitted these slightly shorter greedy boards just to accommodate for the framework to sit on top, and then the control box. So our electrician comes in and he sorted out the additional wiring inside the control box. We don't fit them all with that standard. It'd be overly expensive for the customers that don't need it. So that's been retrofitted in. That's easily done. That's connected up now. He's sorted all that. The lads have tracked all of the belts, made sure that the machine is running fine as well. So as part of the sort of standard procedure when a machine comes back, we just give it a once over, checking all the bearings, grease units, all the rollers, that sort of thing, just making sure that they're in tip-top condition for when it gets returned back to the customer, because it's a lot cheaper for us to replace it now than this travel all the way back up to Scotland and then have to send a new bearing or something like that. So yeah, all that's left now is the chutes to go back on it, and then I believe the customer will be collecting them very soon. So this is the E21C, which we have now added an infeed onto, being collected. So customer has sent up their own transport. This is nothing to do with us. So Jamie's just loaded that onto the bed with a telehandler. So we use a telehandler to lift this up there. The truck driver is now measuring the total height just to make sure that he's safe to go through all the bridges that he'll be going to on the way. So this is going up to Scotland, so it's got a bit of a journey ahead of it. Yeah, so these customers have been great with sending videos, so we'll hopefully get some more videos of the infeed in action. So we've now got the company here to do the calibration of the weigh scales. So for those of you that don't know, this is the Trident Mortarmaster. There's a company, this is a machine that we've made for Trident equipment. So sand is going to go in the top, big bulk bags on the splitter. That feeds into this hopper. This hopper is the part that will be calibrated today. So the weigh scales, we've got one on each corner. That fills with sand. Auger inside feeds into the mixer at the front. From the mixer at the front, you can then add the water. There is a meter on the machine, so you can see exactly how many litres you're putting in per mix, as well as some splitting points and some steps for people to manually add the bags of cement or whatever mixture they want in. So this one has been spec'd for mortar, paddle mixer at the front, screw auger in the big hopper. So yeah, we've got the calibration happening today. We've done a bit of test work beforehand just to make sure everything works, don't need to make any modifications. So now happy with that. We're going to get calibrated and then get some more testing done.
So, what's been done to this machine on the trailer behind me? We've moved a conveyor, we've turned it round. We've also added another conveyor onto the side so it's removable. And now it's being shipped off out of our yard, so we've got some space back, which is nice, because now we can store more stuff out here.
Okay, so in recent episodes, some people have asked some very good questions. So we need to do a Q&A session like we've done before. So, Adam, questions, what you got?
So the first question that I can see in the comments now is from Kevin Bohr, and he asks, Gavin, do you buy material in particular jobs or from experience? Do you buy in bulk if it's cheaper to do so, or is it not cost effective to do that?
Honest short answer is it's a little bit of a mixture of both. Now we do have some stock here, and generally the stock is either leftover material from previous jobs, or we might order in some extra material because we think we might need it. We don't necessarily stock material here, but obviously the amount of material that we do buy here over the years, you're going to accumulate some. we do try to use up some leftover stuff and try and take that into consideration when ordering for new jobs. But in essence, everything gets ordered in, and it's for a job. But to give you some rough idea, we're probably spending around 30 grand a month on steel. So we've constantly got deliveries coming, and we've got one steel supplier that we've got an arrangement with them that if it's below order value of 350 quid, they'll charge us a delivery. Other steel suppliers don't charge the delivery. So we've got 3 main steel suppliers that we use. And we don't want to put our eggs all in one basket with one steel supplier, so we do sort of move the business around between the steel suppliers, and they all do a good job, to be honest, and deliver quite well. But we have a steel delivery here most days, and generally it is for ongoing projects. Archie's just walked out through there to go back out in the yard, and he slammed the door on the way out. Cheers, Archie.
Right, the next question I can see here is actually from Ken Pinion, and I can see that you've already replied to the comment, but there's no harm in us expanding on it at all, is there, Gav? The question is, has using YouTube increased your sales?
Yes, it has actually. We do get inquiries based off of what people have seen on YouTube, and that for us, I've said this before, make no secret about the fact, we never started doing the YouTube because we wanted to be YouTube famous or TikTok stars or social media influencers. It's not what we did it for. We did it because we wanted to showcase to our customers what we were as a business, the products that we did, and anybody that's never come across us before, and that they can watch our YouTube episodes and they can see what we do as a business, our capabilities, the sorts of people that you're dealing with if you come to us or speak to us on the phone. That's the sole reason why we did YouTube. It was never to be influencer of any sort. And, for us, that has worked. We've sold machines to people that have come across us on YouTube. We've had inquiries from people that have come across us on YouTube. And we've got ongoing inquiries for people that have come across us on YouTube. But it's something that builds over time. It would be highly unusual for your business to suddenly go just because you put 1 or 2 videos out on YouTube. It's a slow burn process, and we will probably only truly see the fruits of our labour maybe in the next 12 to 18 months. Okay, so that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hopefully Adam won't drop this camera and we'll be able to do next week's episode. So fingers crossed, we'll see you next week.
Adam's the whitest person ever. He uses sunbeds. You don't need me here on camera. Why do you need me? Go get Archie.
We have checker underneath. Has a little walkway. No, that won't do that.
Right into the microphone.
Or golden?
Golden.
Apart from your head in it.
Sorry, no.
Adam's got his head in the picture because we're doing it on his phone. He's messed up and broke cameras, so now we're winging it.
Drum. This is the wash trommel, all tacked together now. Either side of the, what are they called? They are called rings.
Adam! Adam! Adam!
Whenever you're ready.
My hair, alright.
Hair's beautiful.
My hair, beautiful.
It's not sticking up like yesterday.
It's not as good as yours, obviously.
It's the computer, I'm telling you. It's the computer. It's not me, it's the computer.